Yeah, it was a pretty good game of football. It was one of those ones that could have went either way, and thankfully things went our way in the end. As far as the result went. But after 20 minutes of the contest, I sat there, saying to the coach, "This is a really good game. It was good to watch." And I think at that stage it was 0-0. And 17-16. It was probably a fair assumption. The game was quite close, and it could have went either way.
And obviously Luke George grabbed some headlines with his hat-trick, but Danny Brough again was instrumental, wasn't it, for you guys?
Yeah, Bruffy, look, he's contributing really well for us, as he has done in the past. And Luke's obviously a new player, and he's really contributing really well as well, which is great.
And the England squad's been picked obviously this week with Danny Brough in there, Leroy Cudjoe and El Crabtree. Must be happy that they're in the elite development squad.
Yeah, it's good for the guys, and they were there last year, and it's good to see that they've been rewarded with some consistency again, and they're back in there again. And I'm sure I know they enjoyed their time in their camps at Loughborough. I think it was last year. The players seemed to enjoy what was going on there, and they're excited, and hopefully they can maintain good form, and at the end of the year get picked with England.
So there's 5 players in the night squad as well, which is obviously aimed at the younger group of the talent coming through the academies in England. That must be just as big a positive for you as well. There's a lot of kids in that team. Yeah,
it's good for the club now and good for the club moving forward. Because as you said, that age group of those players in that squad is relatively young. In the earlier part of the 20s or even in the teens for some of them. So it's pleasing for the club, and the more players you got making those younger squads, the better the future of the club.
But at the same time, you must be quite disappointed looking at the squads that there's no Kevin Brown, especially Luke Robinson as well, after what he's done for England over the last couple of years.
Yeah, I felt sorry for Robbo. It's never for one coach to tell another coach, especially in a rep arena, who they should or shouldn't pick. But Robbo, he was probably, I think he might have got the best player on the tour in Australia, and then he got man of the match in the Exiles game. And then at the end of last year, we were a team that wasn't in form. And Robbo had carried some injuries himself. So he's probably, whilst he was unlucky, the team performance probably didn't help there. And he's had a great start to this year. And probably the most disappointing thing there is that an Aussie's been picked out of him. Like Ian Henderson, he's not English. That's the disappointing thing, and I think it's a poor message for the game over here. Like if they didn't want to pick Luke Robinson, pick Daz Clark from Cash. But pick someone who's from this country, because there's plenty of people in that position. In my opinion.
And it's a position that Huddersfield are very strong as well, isn't it now?
Yeah, we're lucky. We've got Lunny who's in the Knights. Tommy Lee's going great. Unfortunately, he's been suspended, but he's was going great before his suspension. So we feel like we've got it going reasonable in that position. But if you look at all the sides, this week playing Wakey, young Woody's playing great there for them, and they've got an import doing really well. But all the sides seem to be very threatening around 9, don't they? It's a sort of a position where it seems to be strong sort of all across the country.
And Wakefield, then, what are you going to expect from them?
A tough game. They've got a few of our former players, a lot of new players that they've brought into their squad, and again they'll be a squad that you'd imagine is going to keep improving. And they fought really hard on the weekend. They went down to Hull 14-10, and obviously Hull's got a very talented list of players. And Wakey made 415 tackles, which that's a big number. Like most sides, average around in a game, you average around that 330. The contest is reasonably even, and it's a quick game and the ball's in play. It's roughly around 330 tackles apiece. And so you work that out. They've made 415. So to go down 14-10 and go down fighting is a credit to them.
And you mentioned Kyle Wood there already. Obviously, Danny Kermond and Andy Raleigh was played the season once here at the Gulf Farm. They're looking forward to playing you guys, won't they?
Yeah, they will be. And they've gone to Wakey, and they're all contributing really well, and they're all important players for all different reasons. They'll go out and they don't need to prove anyone at Huddersfield. They've all contributed really, really well to the club over numbers of years. Andy was obviously here for a long time, and he contributed greatly on the field and off the field, and Kermo the same. And then Woody was here for 2 years, and I don't think anyone can fault those guys as far as their attitude and commitment to the club was. And you wish them all the best. Just obviously hope they don't do too well against the Giants.
But obviously, on the other hand, you've got some players which played for Wakefield. Luke George, I've already spoken about his start to the season. Have you been a little bit surprised of how quickly he's adapted to this Giants team?
Look, I've always wanted to bring Luke to the club from when I first come over here. I knew he was a Huddersfield lad, and after watching him play my first 12 months there, and I knew he was close with our other Jamaican boys who were all good trainers, and I thought he had a lot to offer. And did I expect him to go as well as he has early? I'm not so sure that we did, but I was confident that he had the potential to be a good Super League player. And he's a very intelligent kid and he's picking things up well, and he keeps working hard in his game, and he's had a great start to the year, and he's played really well against some good opposition too. So it's not like, it's not like he's only playing well in games where we had wins, but where we won a game by a big score. He's played great against St Helens in a close contest, and great against Wigan in a close contest as well. So he's doing it against teams at all levels, and and if he's had 5 games, he's had 4 real good ones, and probably one where he was a little bit quieter. But he's doing really, really well, and everyone's really proud of him.
And against Wakefield, you're going to have obviously some selection dilemmas as well. Against St Helens, obviously managed to rest Bobby Fairbank, but rest a couple of really experienced players. It's a nice situation to be in, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, we have, Bobby's been young, that's why we sort of give Bobby a week off. He's been working really hard, and it's his first year of Super League, and he played 4 comp games, and again, he'd been putting a lot of big minutes in for us, playing more minutes than nearly any other player. So we just felt it was time to give him a break, and Michael Lawrence always does a good job regardless of the position. So, but Bobby's back in the equation this week, and we'll look at numbers of things. But we've got Tommy Lee coming back from suspension too, so we've got a few things to look at. But it's pleasing that the younger guys have been doing well, because it does maintain a little bit of pressure. It's you need more than your 15 or 16 players if you're going to do well in the competition. And thankfully, with the guys coming back from rehab, and we've got a few more coming back in a few weeks' time, that gives us a squad where we've got a few extra people to pick from.
Cheers, Nathan.